Good day, this is Mr. Kays, and this is 15.3. Our subject matter today is going to be eastern city-states along the coast of Africa facing the Indian Ocean. By 1100 AD, the Bantu people migrate to eastern coast of Africa. They're going to settle down and trade with Arabs, Persians, and Indians. And when they trade goods, you'll also see them trade or exchange cultures. And what we see are things like Swahili being produced. Swahili is a language, and it's a mix of Bantu and Arabic languages. Africa trades raw materials like timber, gold, leopard skins, ivory, to the east coast of Africa. They're going to bring it out, and they're going to trade it to Asia for finished goods. Seaports grow into wealthy city-states through this trade. They become almost like little kingdoms unto themselves. One such city-state is Kilwa. Kilwa is a coastal city that grew wealthy as it was along the coast, and it was as far south as a ship from India could sail during the monsoon season. It appears that the winds would blow them at least that far south along the eastern coast of Africa. Later, Kilwa is going to seize a city-state to the south of it called Sofala, S-O-F-A-L-A, and it controls the gold trade that's coming from the interior of southern Africa. Now, in the late 1400s, we see a European country, Portugal, coming onto the scene. They're coming around from the west coast, the southern tip of Africa, and coming up the east coast of Africa on their way towards a water route to India. In 1497, Portugal conquers these city-states with guns to take over the trade. They take over city-states like Mombasa, Kilwa, and Sofala. We see also, as the Arabs trade along the east coast, that they're going to influence these city-states. Muslim traders are going to spread their faith. Again, as they trade their goods, they spread their faith. And we see local religions that continue to persist, like animism, but we do see Islam gaining an inroads along the eastern coast of Africa. If you take a look at the map here, you see the Portuguese are going to come around from the west coast, southern tip, and then they're going to come and hit the ports of Sofala, Kilwa, Mombasa, Malindi, Mogadishu, on their way to India. So these cities are going to become important, but you notice that there is an interior trade route here in Africa where the raw materials come out to the coast to be traded. We also need to talk about the enslavement of Africans. Africans who were captured in war were brought to the coast, and these slaves were exported to Arab lands. We also see an increase of slaves in the 1700s for European colonial plantations. So you see some of these slaves taken to places in the Americas like the Caribbean islands, and a big group of them go to Brazil to work the sugar plantations. All right, let's talk about the interior of Africa. We see the civilization of Great Zimbabwe. It's the Shona people that build a city in the interior of southern Africa. And this is about 1000 AD. Between the Zambezi rivers and the Limpopo rivers, Z-A-M-B-E-Z-I, and Limpopo, L-I-M-P-O-P-O. So they have a fresh water source, and they were a group of people that were farmers, and they herded cattle. But what was most important about Great Zimbabwe is gold was mined. It was taken to the east coast. there was a taxing of trade through this region, and we see a collection of stone buildings called Zimbabwe's. That's what it means, is a stone enclosure built, and they remain today because they're made out of stone. The ruins still exist. By about 1450 AD, these stone enclosures were abandoned, and we're not really sure why the civilization collapses. Perhaps it might be that the soil was exhausted and could not produce any more crops, or maybe the gold mines just dried up as far as gold goes. In the 1400s, early 1400s, we have a group of people that left Great Zimbabwe about 1420 to find a new source of salt. Remember, salt is an important item that's traded. People need salt in their diet to keep moisture in their bodies. So, we see the Mutapa Empire that is going to be created. It is, I misspelled this, it's M-U-T-A-P-A, the Mutapa Empire. They mined gold, but they're looking for salt also. The Portuguese are going to fail to conquer this empire, yet for decades they're going to meddle in the politics of these city-states along the east coast of Africa. Well, you see east coast of Africa spreading out, raw materials coming to the coast, and trading with Arabs, Persians, and Indians for finished goods. That's it for today. This is Mr. K signing off. This is 15.3. I'm out.